thing, we always do this. We want to thank our sponsor and host, Improving.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you guys don't know what Improving is, you're currently in the Improving Houston office. Improving is a software consultancy. They do pretty much everything in tech, whether it's software development for local businesses, AI, ML implementations, agile coaching and training. They do all sorts of stuff related to those things. And they sponsor this event. That includes the event space, the food and the drinks, and the support. So they've been doing that for over 3 years. From the very first meeting, they've been giving us a space to do our stuff and experiment and try new things. So, and it's not just for us; it's for a bunch of other.
Out of that, so
Yes,
there's plenty to choose from.
And then this is just a short list. I actually have a calendar of all the different events that are taking place here in this office in January. So if you guys want to take a picture of this, feel free. They're all here in this location. So there's a bunch of stuff. If you guys have any questions about any of this, any of these events, just reach out to me. I can help you with that. There's also details on the TV outside. If you wait long enough, your events will pop up.
They still haven't fixed that.
Hang out and chat for who knows how long. I will eventually kick people out if I'm getting tired. It's usually closer to 9:30 or 10, so we'll probably do. Also, for all of our new members, I want to share a little bit about who we are, how we started this group. A quick show of hands. How many of you is this your first time ever at Side by Side? Okay. Thank you guys for being here. Enough commonalities there to sort of overlap and have a meaningful discussion. So, like it says over here, it can be technical or non-technical. If you have any questions on whether your project fits that criteria, just let me know. Spoiler alert, it probably does.
Yeah.
Unless you're just like MLM sales, don't do that. And with that, I'd actually like to hand it over to Agnes, and she's going to be running our workshop on creating effective goals. So let's give her a big hand.
Hello everybody, my name is Agnes. I'm very excited to do this workshop. We did it last year, and I'm sure that at least half of you will be coming from that workshop, but not knowing what have a master is probably an advantage. And I'm so glad that we get to impact more lives this year, because this workshop has been really popular, really successful, and I hope you get something out of it. I'm a project program manager. Right now between the projects, I manage, you can find me on LinkedIn or with my email address. Founder of Goals Alliance. Goals Alliance is a community group kind of like this, just focusing on goals, on pursuing goals, resilience, making sure that you're successful in what you're doing. I helped to build iPlayer Club, which is a platform that connects players with soccer or sport opportunities. And then in my spare time, I'm a gymnastics coach. I'm a mom of 3 kids. I love traveling, and I love to dream. I love to set up goals, and that's where this whole thing came from. Like, I enjoy it. This is my passion. So.
How often does Goals Alliance meet?
Once a month.
Is it here?
Second
Oh, okay.
Today we're gonna talk about creating effective goals. You have a little piece of paper in front of you. We're gonna follow it. It's a workshop, so we're gonna participate as much as you want to. The more you participate, the better results, or the more you get out of it. If you have any questions, stop me. I have no problem answering questions or supporting you through this process. I have my husband Danyal, who is equally passionate about this subject, who is also here to support us and answer some questions whenever needed. He's going to be here. So what we're going to talk about is simple methodologies. So I'm going to show you pretty much how other people do it. At the end of the day, this is your life, these are your goals, you do it your way. But I want to give you a little bit of a theory so you know some basics of how others are doing. Review of 2025, we're going to draft our goals, we're going to talk about tracking it, visualizing it, and some tips. So nothing crazy, very simple. I hope you leave here with a little bit more clarity on what you want to do and what you want to pursue next year, or this year. Simple methodologies. If you go the most basic version, you divide your goals to personal area, professional, and then financial health aspect. The great thing is, the best goals are the ones that interject in these three areas. So if a goal is personal, professional, and in one of these areas, it's going to be the goal that is going to be the easiest for you to pursue, and you're going to be the most passionate to pursue it. That doesn't mean you have to do it. Ikigai talks about what you're good at, what you love, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. So totally different way of looking at your goal, but at the same time, it still pursues similar areas. Life Vision, I think, builds it out the most extensively. They have 12 different categories that you set up your goals in. And the advantage of setting up your goals with the 12 different categories within the Life Vision methodology is that you avoid burnout. If you have a job where you're like constantly tired, you're constantly exhausted, that means that one of these areas is lacking its goals. And I can tell you last year, I challenged myself to set up goals in all 12 areas. There were two categories that I said, I'm not setting up a goal this year. This is not important to me. This is not going to be my priority. I have other items that are my priority. I'm not setting up a goal. And at the end of the year, I was like, okay, I made it. But it felt almost, I could feel the void. I could feel that that area was missing in my life. Although intentionally, I could feel it missing. What we're going to do, now we're going to start working on our worksheet. 2025 challenges and failures. Grab your pen, and we're going to start on this circular area. Try to take 2 minutes and write down what were the things you could have done better last year, what were the things you did not achieve, or what were the things that you attempted but you totally failed. The things that you maybe are not proud of, the things that you wish you could forget, or the things that you just didn't like last year. Just take 2 minutes and nobody, I'm not gonna ask anybody to read it out. So this is for you. You take it home. This is your paper. This is your worksheet. You just be honest with yourself.
This is the top left.
The top corner, right?
Okay.
If at the end of the day you're like, I love this exercise, but I don't want to take it anywhere, I don't want anybody to see it, we have recycling, then you can make it recycling. Don't put your name on it. Again, this is for you. Although, Asa said to me that, he said to me in December that when we did it in January, he still was carrying it in his car. So you may find it useful. Write whatever comes to your mind. 1, 2, 3 things. No more. You don't need. Great. Lots of things in that area. And again, nobody's gonna judge you, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about your spelling or whatever. When you're done with that area, 2025, I did great at. What is the things that you are proud of? What is the things you feel like you accomplished? What is the things you want to brag about? What is the things that you wish, maybe not necessarily to repeat, but you're proud of it, you're happy you did it. Accomplishments for 2025, we're going to put it in this right corner. And if you feel at the end of these exercises that you haven't finished it, again, you're taking the paper home, you can redo it all over again, or you can add and remove items. catch it. Okay, the next exercise. You see this beautiful wheel of life satisfaction. That's what's the official name for it. This little circle. It has different categories: business, friends, family, personal, passion, spiritual, and health. From 1 being very unsatisfied to 5 being very satisfied. Ask yourself, where are you? Last year. Where are you? Where are you starting your 2026 at?
So where do we write the number? In each line or just one?
If, for example, in health you are neutral, you mark 3. So you either write an X or you color it in, or the goal is that through the goal setting exercise, you get enough awareness of all these areas that at one point you get to 5 in each area. But to be able to grow and to be able to expand in whichever area, you need to know where you're starting. So through this exercise, if you have any areas that you're very unsatisfied, that's the area you should probably consider making your priority for now. Because if you're very unsatisfied about your health, there is usually something you can do about it. If you're very unsatisfied about your friends, make it a priority to see them. So that's why we're doing it. We need to know where we're starting at. Once we finish that, looking at 2025, there's things that ended up bringing us to this place where there is failures, there is success, there is dissatisfaction. What are the things that very easily you can look at and say, I have to stop doing this. I have to stop doing whatever. So if you have things that come to your mind that you need to stop doing, this last box, just list them up. Okay, now we move on to the fun part. Now you know where you are, now you know your starting point, now you know your pain points, now you know your failures, and now you know what you were successful at or what made you happy last year. Let's see how we translate it to 2026. Try to write down, based on what you already know about yourself, what you identified on the previous page, what you want your goal to be, your goals to be for the next year. These are the areas that I mentioned on the previous methodologies. These are kind of like generic areas. Try, if you can, to make sure that you have at least one item in each area. Again, what it does is it prevents burnout. It prevents that void that you carry throughout the year. Especially if you do it unconsciously, if you end up not having a goal in that area, you will catch yourself that, oh shoot, I'm missing this and this. So use this opportunity to make sure that you have one goal. If I'm going too fast, tell me, I'll slow down. I just don't want Danyal to kick you guys out at 9 or 8:30.
9:30.
9:30, sorry. Yes. Then I want you to rewrite it even more specifically. Who is involved? If you say, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym more often. Are you gonna go by yourself? Are you gonna go with somebody? How often are you gonna go? How many days a week are you gonna go? Are you gonna go Monday, Tuesday, Friday, or are you gonna go Wednesday and Saturday? Be very, very specific about your goal. Add the details. Why is this goal important to me? Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym because I wanna get healthy. Or because I wanna heal my back injury. Or because, I don't know, I have difficulties getting off the floor. Whatever the reason is, add it there. Highlight, take the one that is the most important to you and rewrite it. Okay. Next goal. When do I want to finish? You have a whole year. When do you want to finish? Is it the goal that is going to finish at the end of January? Is it the goal that is going to finish at the end of the quarter? Is it half-year goal? Or are you going to finish it at the end of the year? Or is the goal like learning languages? You never ever finish learning languages. Write down the date. Make sure you know when do you want to finish. Give it the timeline. Next box, the skills and resources I need, my distractions. And I put the skills and resources in the same box as distractions is because not having the skills and resources can be a distraction. Do you need time to be able to do it? Money, knowledge, maybe you need to learn something to be successful. Specific skills, maybe you need people that will help you achieve it. Tools. Maybe you're building a new kitchen and you need tools, specific tools to buy. Technology, mindset. Maybe you need to shift. Sometimes going to the gym is not enough. You need to start dieting to be able to accomplish your goal. But dieting is not just, I'm going to stop eating sugar. You have to switch your mindset. You have to start living a different life. Discipline. There's people who want to go to bed at 10 p.m. They just need discipline. And then distractions, I like to call it what's your because. Usually when we have a distraction, we say, oh, I didn't do it because. I couldn't learn it because. I didn't make it because. So what's your because? What's your distraction? What is going to stop you from achieving that one goal that you said is your priority? Or what stopped you from achieving it earlier? Again, be very honest with yourself. I don't like to exercise. I really don't like exercising. And last year I ended up setting myself a goal that I will exercise 3 times a week. And I did not achieve that goal. And my because could be because I was depressed. I got laid off, I didn't have a job, and I could say, oh, I was depressed. I could be because I ended up investing that time into studying for my PhD certification, which honestly, I don't wish to my worst enemy, but could be. That's my because. But if I'm really, really honest with myself, it's because I was lazy. Because I have a beautiful trail around my neighborhood that it takes 30 minutes, it's just 2 miles. I can just take my dog and go for a walk. 30 minutes out of my time that I was unemployed is not going to be much of an impact. But that was my because I was lazy. But I can give you 5 other items, 5 other things. If somebody asks me, I'll be like, oh my gosh, so much things that are happening. But no, I was lazy. So be honest with yourself, because if you're honest with yourself, you will know how to avoid it. Awareness is what brings you to your success. Next box. How will I know I achieved it? What's your finish line? If you're studying a language, will it be I'm able to have a conversation with somebody? If you're building a kitchen, because I will have functional sink and everything, nothing is going to be leaking and my tiles are going to be aligned. What is your finish line? For that specific goal, what is your success? How do you define your success? When you're like, okay, I'm done, I finished, I achieved it, I'm successful, what's the point? You can ask counsel.
You have multiple goals, how do you prioritize which will be the finite amount of time?
I try to be very realistic. If I can achieve all of them, I'll leave all of them in my plan and kind of reach for the stars, maybe you end up flying. But if I know I want to achieve one, then I make one of them priority. Maybe for the second one I achieve 30%, but that 30% is still going to be more than 0%. But if you know you're not going to achieve it, then be just aware of it, prepare yourself. Make sure you know, okay, this is there. If I have time or if I have resources or if situation aligns, I'll do it, but plan for it pretty much. Okay, last box in this area, your identity matters. And why does it matter to you? Do you want to be a big muscular guy and that's why you're going to the gym? This is your life. This is your choice. If you want to be a big muscular guy, that's great. If you want to have family, and that's why you're building savings, because you want to buy a house. What is the persona that is driving it? Is it the businessman? Is it the traveler? Is it somebody who is free? Somebody who wants to explore? How would you call yourself if you look at that specific goal? So for example, one of my goals is to travel. I would call myself a traveler. I want to be an explorer. I want to be more aware of culture. So what's your identity with this specific goal? If you achieve it, you would call yourself what? You will become, how would you visualize yourself? And now is a good moment for you guys to ask questions, if you have questions. If you look back at your 2 sides of the paper, if you have questions, because we're going to dive a little bit deeper. Okay. If you look at your piece of paper, the 2026 side, you will see that you just planned your SMART goals. I'm sure that many of you have heard about SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And when I heard about it first, I was kind of like, I know, but oh my gosh, this is so much work. This is like, how do I even, like, what do you mean achievable? What do you mean realistic? Of course, all my goals are realistic. I'm not asking to go to the Mars, so all my goals are realistic. But when I went through that exercise and I actually tried to make them realistic, tried to see them, tried to envision them, tried to assign my persona, tried to assign the person that I will become, that's when they become realistic. When I assign the timeline, that's when they become the time-bound. Achievable, because I
like Gender said, I was honest with myself. Am I able to achieve it or not? Measurable. Yes, once a week, once every 2 weeks, 3 times a day. And specific because we rewrote it. We made sure we know who we are doing it with, how we're doing it, and so on. So congratulations, you just did your SMART goals for 2026. And I know we focused only on one. Go through that exercise for all the rest of your goals because all of them deserve equal importance. If at the end of this exercise you're like, oh, I don't know, I wanted to do my garden, but maybe it's not as important to me, that's fine. Leave it there, remove it. Again, my favorite saying, this is your life, this is not a community project. This paper, these goals, don't have to please anybody else but you. Unless you are in a relationship, then you have to take your partner into account and you have to have some goals associated with your partner to make sure that you have fulfilled the relationship. But all the rest is you and you only. This is the moment where you get to be selfish and focus on what's good for you. And what's important for your family is being selfish. It's focusing on you, not other people. If you decide to set up goals that are focusing on other people, volunteering, charity, and so on, which I strongly suggest, they're really fulfilling and they really end up enriching your life. It's still something that has to make you happy. I can promise you, I am not going to go and work at the farm because working with animals, as much as I love animals and I have animals at home, it's not really something that is going to fulfill my life. But working at food bank is something that I'm actually excited about. So it's still going to be a goal that is going to enrich my life. It's still going to be in some way a selfish goal. Track it. Track it. Keep that piece of paper, but make sure every single goal that you wrote on it has a bullet item and you're able to track it. I review my goals every month. Your goals every week. Track it, whatever works for you. Track it once a quarter, whatever the measurement is. Some of my goals were quarterly goals. I still checked it once a month to make sure I achieved it for this quarter or not yet. Track it. There's apps for it. You can print out, you can go online and just put goal tracking sheet. There's so many of them. Canva has so many options. Online printout, put it on the wall so you can see it. Phone, calendar. Danyal sets up every single hour of his day. It's set up in a way that he tracks one of his goals or he tracks his work. I couldn't do it, but if I plan something, it has to be on my calendar or it's not happening. Wall calendar. The little calendar you did see on that one slide, there is actually a calendar. You can buy a whole year calendar and put it on your wall and write on it. And I think that's like the coolest thing. I didn't know this last year, but I find it super exciting. Or monthly calendar too. You can track your goals and make sure did I achieve it or not. If you plan to exercise, if you're doing some kind of a workout challenge that you're gonna exercise for 30 days every day, that's a great opportunity to print a little monthly calendar and put it on your wall. Journal. There is lots of journal options. I have one with me if you're interested about good option. I really like the one I have. I buy it every year now because it's great. It's small. I can carry it anywhere. And it helps me make sure I stay aware of my goals. Specifically, I have that journal for my goals. And online sheet. I have an online sheet that it's very much designed for the live version, but if you want an online sheet that's going to help you track your goals, I have one that you guys can get a copy of. Visualize it. I cannot stress enough how visualizing your goals is important. My sister asked me, how do you achieve your goals? Because she knows that if I set my mind on something, it's going to happen. And I said, the first thing you have to do is, if I wake up in the middle of the night, you have to know what your goals are. If you don't know your goals, then are you even pursuing them? What helps me with that? Vision board. Create vision board, put it on your wall. Have a daily reminder. You walk into a bathroom, either on your door, on your mirror, or right next to, you pass next to it. You have a daily reminder of what your goals are. Print a picture. If your dream is to have a house or be a fun grandma and spend more time with your kids, grandkids, or whatever, print a picture that is going to be a reminder of what you're pursuing. Buy a little trinket. Buy a little, as you can see, it's very, very tiny lounge chair. If your goal is to stay or move to the beach or visit the beach, have it so that it's a reminder. One of my goals is to go to Peru and climb Machu Picchu, so I have a little Anna because that reminds me, this is your goal. And I have had that goal since probably 2020. I have not achieved it yet, but I constantly have a reminder that this is something I want to do. I did not give up. If you want to get ripped and you want to have a sexy body, you can buy yourself a Barbie doll and say, this is how I want to look like. Your phone screen, or your lock screen, whatever, can help with those goals as well, those reminders. You can have a jar that you just put trinkets that are associated with different goals, and just as a reminder that this is what I'm pursuing. Great idea of when you go home, write yourself a letter. If it's December 2026, how do you feel about the goals you achieved and the goals you pursued? Where did they get you? What did excite you? What didn't excite you? Write yourself a letter today or now to make sure that when you look back at the end of December, you're like, okay, I achieved it, I got there, or I didn't get there, or that's how I envisioned it, but it ended up totally different. Sticky notes, oh my gosh, they're horrible and they're great. Put them anywhere. Put them on your toilet, put them on your toilet window, put them on your shower, wherever you need it. Remind yourself that you can do it. And you have a goal, you're pursuing something specific. I mentioned printouts. This is one of the printouts from Canvas, little goals thing and little weekly, monthly, what I'm gonna do, my notes and whatever. There's many different options. Journal, and then you can even have a playlist on your phone that is associated with whatever you're pursuing. This one is Road to Tuscany because one of my dreams is to go to Italy. So I would have, for example, playlists with, I don't even create it myself, somebody already did, but playlist that's going to remind me that this is one of my goals. Little things, set time aside. Every goal will require some time commitment. You will need to commit your time to pursue the goal. I can tell you that even with putting down the Christmas tree, I cannot just be like, oh, let's put the Christmas tree away. I have to be like, okay, tomorrow I want to do this. I have to be conscious. I have to be intentional. I have to set the time aside and say, for the next 2 hours, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the book. I'm going to learn. I learn foreign language. I have to do it every day. I have to have time set aside, 10, 15 minutes to do my goals. You have whatever goal you're pursuing, it will require time commitment. Set the time aside so it does not become your because I didn't have time. Remember it. If I wake you up in the middle of the night and I say, what are your goals? Will you remember them? And I can tell you, if you didn't remember them, the chances of you achieving them, pursuing them, and being successful is very low. Because what remembering your goal does, it allows you to subconsciously find opportunities to pursue it and find opportunities to make it reality. You don't even need to necessarily search for the opportunities. You have it embedded in your mind. I have 3 different friends who want to go to Machu Picchu with me. Because subconsciously, I knew I couldn't afford it at the time that I planned it. But talking to my friends, remembering my goals, I was able to find friends who are okay to go with me. Who want the same dream, who want to do the same goal. Remember your goals. Become passionate about it. You have to be passionate. This is the better self you're pursuing. You're pursuing your future. If you're not excited about it, forget it. Because your mom is not gonna be excited for you. Like my mom is not like, oh yay, are you going to Machu Picchu? Because I know you wanted to do it 6 years ago. But if I talk to my friends, every single time I'm like, I can't wait. Oh my gosh. And now I learned that I have to, there is a level of, you have to acclimate to the altitude. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is even better. Like I have to go there 4 days before, so I get to explore, I get to talk to local people, I get to eat local food. I don't just fly in and then start climbing and that's it. There is more to it. So become passionate about your goal. It doesn't have to happen today. It may be a growth. When I decided to come to US, it took me 10 years to be able to make it happen legally. And I was passionate every year and I was searching for opportunities. I wanted it to happen. So this is your goal. If you're not passionate about it, just take it off your list. Building grace for failure. Setbacks will happen. Last year, I had great goals on my list. Oh my gosh, I had great goals on my list. And then in July, I lost my job. And I'm a single mom. So my financial priority was no longer pursuing my trip to Italy. Because I wanted to go for a month to Italy. I wanted to stay there. I wanted to immerse myself in their culture. I wanted to have fun with it. Setbacks will happen. Life goes up and it goes down. But the good thing is it goes up again. And it will go down. My dad used to say, it's never so bad that it cannot be worse. So keep that in mind, because I remember I went to him and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world. And I stopped living with my parents when I was 17. I moved out and I became independent when I was 17. And I called my dad and I was like, this is the end of the world. So keep in mind I was 17 years old when my dad looked at me and said, you know, I have kids at this age, and when they call me with their issues right now, I'm like, you're really crying about that? But to me, that was the end of the world. And when my dad said it can get worse, I was like, no, it can. But failing twice doesn't mean you fail. If your goal is to exercise every day of the week, if one day you pull your muscle and you say, I need a break, I need to rest, if you get sick, that doesn't mean you failed your goal. You still get healthier. That's why we search for the persona that's attached. Are you searching just to exercise, or are you searching to be stronger or healthier or whatever? You still got stronger, you still got healthier, although maybe you didn't exercise every day. So prepare yourself, setbacks will happen. Everyone is different. What works for you and your best, what works for your best friend may not work for you. As I said, it's not a community project, it's your life. Don't think of your goal and say, but they do. My sister had the same job for the last 10 years, and this is the third time I have been between projects. Because I'm a project manager, I go into a company, I do a project, when the project is done, they're like, thank you, I get to search for another project. But my sister's life doesn't define me. My life is not defined by her success or her failure. The same for your friends, the same for your parents. This is your life. It is hard to be unemployed and be single mom. It is hard. But it's my life. And if I can handle it, then I don't care what everybody else says. Find an accountability partner. Find somebody who's going to remind you what you're doing. Unless you have very, very strong personality, unless you become extremely passionate about your goals, unless you really learn how to do it for you and nobody else, you will need accountability partner. And sometimes the accountability partner is just going to be there to listen how horrible it is. Because when I was trying to pass PMP certification, all of my friends knew how horrible it was and how I hated it, and I never ever wanted to do it again. But I passed it. Find accountability partner. Find somebody who in that moment of those downs is going to say, but you remember, this is just You're not pursuing working out every day. You're pursuing a healthier body. You're not pursuing being super rich. You're pursuing financial stability. Okay, you cannot go to Italy for a month, but you can go for a week and you can still immerse yourself for a week in the culture. You need somebody at the moment that it's going to be low, because it's going to be low. Every single goal is going to be low, who is going to help pick you up. And one of the moments when I was studying for PMP, my friend said to me, "You're a driver without a driver's license." I've been a project manager for almost 3 years, and I did not have certification. And he simply said to me, "You're a driver without a driver's license." And it was so simple, but that's what my accountability partner did for me. It made sense. And finally, that stupid certification makes sense. Reward yourself and celebrate your success. Once I passed my PMP exam, because I eventually did pass it right before Christmas, I drove straight to get a massage. Although I was like, "You don't have money for this. This is not your financial priority." I went and I got a massage because I knew I had to celebrate. I went and I bought a bottle of champagne and I had champagne that evening because I knew that this was hard work and I needed to reward myself. And yes, maybe you will have friends who will do it for you, who will be like, "Yay, you did it!" and throw a party for you. But if not, it doesn't mean you cannot do it yourself. And keep breathing. This is hard work. Pursuing goals, pursuing better future, pursuing better yourself is a hard work. It means you will have to say no to party time. It means you will have to say no to things you like to do to be able to be successful in the things you are pursuing. It's not going to be easy, but breathe in and breathe out. You make another day closer to your goal. Don't forget to pause and just sit in who you are and what you're pursuing and what your new persona is going to be. Who are you going to be at the end of when you achieve your goal? Because that's the person who's going to look back and say, "You did great." That's how I felt when I finally got my PMP certification. I was like, "Oh, now I'm a professional project manager." I had to pat myself on the back because I didn't pursue it for anybody else. Nobody else cares about my certification except maybe my future employer. Nobody else cares for it. I needed to care for it. So, but there were moments where I had to be like, I can do this. I just have to take a breath in and breath out. And I can do this. New Year's, new me.
Yeah.
I love those jokes. Those are my favorite jokes. Why do I bring it up? This year, January 9th, is National Quitters Day. It's there every year. Every year it's a different date. I didn't know. I thought it was just a date. But no, every year is a different date. That's when most of the people stop going to the gym. That's when it becomes difficult. Because it will become difficult. Now you're aware. Now you know it will become difficult. Don't give up. Because you giving up on yourself. If you set up a goal that you are dreading, that you don't want to pursue, that you hate, and you are tired to even look at on your little sheet of paper, just take it off and put that energy into a goal that you are excited to do and you can feel passionate about. And when I wake you up in the middle of the night, you're like, "This is fun." Get rid of those goals that you will quit on the National Quitters Day. I would love if you guys scan the QR code and you make quick feedback on this session. It's just 3 or 4 questions. I promise it's very simple.
It's only 3 days until National Quitters Day. So we only need the last 3 days for our kids?
No, you are set up for a success now, so you don't have to worry about the national.
There we go.
And then you have it at
4 days. I can do that.
Yes.
See, my
If you
hack
made it
is,
to January 10th, you are successful.
There you go.
my hack is I wait till the 9th to start.
Oh, that's it. That's why we didn't do this workshop on the 1st. We did it on the 6th. Intentional. If this was good, if you feel you like this, but for some reason you're still lacking clarity, you're still kind of like, I get it, the theory is great, but I want to dive deeper. I want somebody to help me figure out the goals that I will be passionate about. Next Tuesday, we have a workshop beyond SMART goals, where we're going to focus on vision, identity, and emotional alignment. If you don't have your identity, your emotional alignment, then your vision is going to fall apart. Then those are the goals that, unfortunately, we, on January 9th, we forget about them. So, next Tuesday, the same place, the same time. It's a community group. Goals Alliance is a community group. So we meet every second Tuesday of the month, and we just work on our goals. In January, we're gonna do this. February, we're gonna work on vision boards. If you need help to do vision board, if you wanna know the basics of setting up vision board and beyond the basics, if you wanna sit down with like-minded people and work on your vision board, that's what we're gonna do in February. Questions?
Will it only be on February?
Vision board February. This January, but will you go?
Will you meet where? Here?
Right here. All the meetings are here. 2nd February on the month.
In your ratings, you didn't put what 1 means and what 5 means, so you don't know which. I assumed 1 was high.
I assume 5 is high.
Thank you.
So,
But it's a good feedback.
Yikes.
I will fix it.
I put 1. If 1 is not best, then translate it to 5 for me.
No
okay?
problem. I will fix that because it's a good.
Charlie does not hate you.
That's
No, I know.
But I wouldn't know it's you because I don't.
Well, no, that's fine. I'm just pointing out that you need to
Yes.
have the rating system.
Yes,
That's
I do.
in there.
Yes.
Okay. Feedback.
So yes, so next Tuesday we meet for this workshop. February we meet for vision board, and then if you wanna, I'm gonna quickly try to go back to the front. If you want to make sure you follow our LinkedIn page to make sure that you have access to the future workshops. Okay, yes. So our LinkedIn page, all the events are posted on the LinkedIn page. So if you follow us on the LinkedIn page, I started to invite people who follow the page to the different events that we have. So that makes it easier not to miss it, not to forget it. Any other questions? Okay. Good luck. We did basics. I asked you to write whatever goals you may have for 2026, and we focused only on one. Last year when I was doing all my goals, it took me 3 days to write them all out, to go through this exercise for every single goal. And don't forget that life will throw you things. My unemployment last year was definitely something I did not expect. But at the same time, when I look back on my 2025, pursuing PMP certification or pursuing anything related to PMI was not my goal at all. Like, I didn't even have it in my goals at all. I was like sitting this December and I was like, oh, this was not even a goal, which is one of my greatest achievements last year, right? Be open to the opportunities that come and go. Yes, one side may be a setback, but then that may create an opportunity for something else. I did not have PMP certification because I was always so busy working. That's my big goal, because I was working, because I'm a single mom, because it costs lots of money, and so on and so on. And this year, I just saw a post on LinkedIn that said, hey, there is a conference. And I was like, okay, well, improving as a company is very, very much into conferences, into presentations and so on. I was like, well, if improving helps me go to that conference, then I want to go. I want to see what it's about. I went to the conference. Through that, I ended up signing up for the membership, and that ended up reducing the price of the certification. I was like, well, I'm unemployed. I don't have a reason not to do it now. I don't have time. I may as well pursue it. It was honestly situational opportunity that I didn't envision. I didn't even pursue in January. I didn't even think about it. But I used the opportunity that my unemployment opened up to be able to pursue it. So be open. Don't think that if you couldn't achieve one of your goals, because one of my goals was financial. Obviously, on unemployment, I totally failed that goal. But I'm not mad at myself for doing that because I know it was situational. Because at the same time, I ended up putting my whole self into pursuing the certification, and it is one of my achievements from last year. Build grades for
Any
grade.
question?
Are you gonna do the, or maybe you've already done the 12 areas again for this year, or you
That's what we're gonna do next. Are you asking me personally
Yeah,
or
you personally.
me personally? Yes. Although the area that last year I excluded is gonna be included this year. I did set up my goals already for this year. Yes, but I also am more aware of how it works. What maybe, I learned a lot about it last December, and not all the theory translated into reality. So, yes, I did set up the 12 areas. Why? Because each and every of these areas is building towards some kind of a persona. It's building towards some kind of an emotion. And I want to make sure I address it or I pursue it. So if there is 5 things that can help me pursue that persona or can help me pursue that better future for myself, then I'll have all 12 working for the same goal or similar. Yes, it's a challenge. To the 12 different categories, that's a challenge, yes. But if you come next week, I make it a little bit easier.
Any other questions? Awesome. Let's get back.
9:30.
It is. Let's get back. Selfie game face on. I have not practiced my selfie. I know I say I always will, but I'm really bad at it. All right, everyone. Oh, this is really hard over here.
I think you need a selfie stick at this point.
No, I'm very stubborn. I refuse. All right, we got everyone in the back. Smile. Happy New Year.